Hello everybody, Curious Corduroy here, and today I have a console kind of review for you guys. It's a handheld, and that is the PlayStation Vita, or the PS Vita, PlayStation Vita, PlayStation Vita, the PlayStation Vita Benjamin, the PlayStation Vita. It's $249.99 for the Wi-Fi version, which is what I have, or $300 if you want Wi-Fi and 3G AT&T connectivity. It's actually much bigger than I thought it was going to be. As soon as I opened up the box and looked at it, I was just kind of like, wow, this thing is huge. That's partly because the screen itself is pretty big. It's 5 inches long, and it's an OLED screen, which many of you may know that OLEDs are getting extremely popular with mostly televisions nowadays, and that's an organic light emitting diode. Pretty much what it means is that the screen is going to look really good, and one of the cool features about OLED is that it doesn't use a backlight. It's kind of just self-lit. So because of the whole self-lit feature, colors are going to be much more vibrant, much deeper. Blacks will be blacker, reds will be redder, greens will be greener. It'll look better, much more vibrant, and the screen itself is actually very, very amazing. I was blown away by the way the screen looked. As soon as I turned it on, throughout this review, you'll probably see some close-up shots of some of the games in action and the screen in general. The only downside is the fact that you guys aren't going to be able to really see the high quality in this screen via the camera. I'll try my best to get as much good quality as I can, but if you have the opportunity to maybe go to a local Best Buy or a Target or even a Walmart to see if they have these on display, you should definitely go if you're interested to check it out for just the screen alone, because the screen is just beautiful. It's also 16 by 9. If I'm not mistaken, it has around like 16 million colors it can display. And the touchscreen itself is very, very responsive. I haven't experienced any type of lag issues or anything like that. The user interface is very easy to navigate. You can even install third-party software to change the user interface if you'd like. I haven't done that yet. I'm pretty satisfied with the way that it looks now, so I probably won't be changing that anytime soon. But the biggest difference between this version, the Wi-Fi version, and the Wi-Fi and 3G version is the, of course, 3G connectivity. And that's with AT&T, and there are 2 different types of data plans that you can use. For $14.99 a month, you'll get 250 megabytes worth of 3G data usage for your PlayStation Vita, and for $25 a month you will get 2 gigabytes. I'm not really the kind of person that needs a 3G connectivity kind of device. I have my phone already, and when it comes to this, I'm usually always around a Wi-Fi spot, whether I'm at work, here at home, or I'm at school. There's always some kind of Wi-Fi around me, so I don't really have to worry about using 3G to connect or download videos or games or play online with people. But other than that, those are the biggest differences. So the 3G version will come with a SIM card, the Wi-Fi version doesn't. Speaking of cards, in order for the game to work or play, it has to install itself onto the memory card. Otherwise you're screwed and you won't be able to play the game. But one of the cool things is that you can actually, this is your welcome screen, you can actually customize it, and the cool thing is you can move it kind of like a page turn. So I got my woman Kylie Minogue on my screen. That's my welcome screen. You peel that away, and then it's going to take you to the main screen. I already have Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom in there already. But you have like 3 different sections. You have the welcome part, which gets you used to how to use the Vita, PlayStation Store, your friends list, trophies, photos, the web browser. You got music if you want music on here, your videos that you download, Netflix. That was one of the biggest ways that I tested the beauty of the screen. I was very curious. I was like, I gotta see how high definition content will look on this thing. So I loaded up Netflix and I went to probably the best show on television and my favorite show on television, Supernatural. And I went to one of the newer episodes because every episode of that show is filmed in high definition. So I went to that, I put it on just to see how it looked, and it looked phenomenal. The colors were deep, vibrant, dark. It looked, perfect. And it actually makes me want to save up for an actual OLED TV. If it looks this amazing on a handheld, I can't imagine how the actual big screen OLEDs will look. So it's amazing how much they could fit into this tiny handheld, especially in terms of the screen. It's just freaking amazing. And that's one of the really nice things about the Vita itself, is when you start loading up games, you can kind of tell that they're from a handheld, but eventually it gets to the point where you're just so sucked in that you forget that you are using a handheld, and the games themselves just look phenomenal. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the colors are bright, fluid, the action is vibrant and amazing. The gameplay itself transitions so well onto the Vita, and I was kind of worried that maybe the buttons would get a little cramped when you're trying to do combos, but the game works perfectly on the Vita. Uncharted Golden Abyss looks freaking amazing. It's probably one of the best looking Vita games out there. It's pretty much up there with the Uncharted's on the PlayStation 3. It's beautiful, it sounds great, it plays well. Rayman Origins, that game is a blast to play. That is another game that looks really beautiful on the screen because of the colors. It's a very colorful game, it plays well, it looks amazing. And one of my favorites, and actually a game that I wasn't too excited for because I'd never played any of the previous ones, but it's Luminous Electronic Symphony. I had gotten it for free on Amazon because they were doing the whole buy two get one free deal. And I was like, okay, I might as well get this, pick it up, I'll play it. I wasn't too excited at first, but the moment I put it in, I could not stop playing it, and that sounded very dirty. I do not know why. But I was hooked on Luminous. And one of the nicest things you can do is just sit down, plug in your headphones, and just load up a game of Luminous and just forget everything. You know, you get sucked into putting the puzzle pieces together, matching the colors, and then the music is playing. It's got a great soundtrack on there. I could spend hours just sitting there playing Luminous and just, you know, forget that there's a world out there. The only downsides really, of course, the memory cards are very expensive, and you do need the memory cards in order to play the games. But the Vita itself is really nice. And also, before I forget, there's a rear trackpad on here. You mostly use it for games like Uncharted, so you can kind of move up and down to climb the rope. One of the cool things is that it does have a gyroscope and as well as six action motion control. So for games like Uncharted, let's say you're trying to aim, you could use the analog sticks here, but you can actually move the Vita and Drake will actually move the way you're moving to do different aiming. It works perfectly with the sniper rifle in particular. In all honesty, I actually prefer aiming like this. It seems a little weird, especially coming from, you know, someone who is a core gamer. I'm so used to using the analogs to aim. This actually felt way more precise, more comfortable actually, and I played a lot better when I was aiming like this. And using a trackpad is pretty fun. It looks a little weird, kind of like you're molesting the Vita a little bit. It also does have two cameras. There's a front-facing camera as well as a rear-facing camera. Picture quality, it's not amazing, but you're not going to be going to photography class with a Vita taking pictures. It also does take video as well. You can still play PSP games on here. This is one thing that has been bugging me so much, is that in Japan, Sony did have a program to transfer UMD games over to something like the PSP Go as well as the Vita. They are not offering that in America. That does bug me a lot. I mean, I don't have a large PSP library like a lot of people do. I know a lot of people have, you know, like 30 plus games. I have about 5 or 6 solid games that I love to play still on my PSP, and I can't play them on the Vita, either A, because they're not available on the PlayStation Store, or 2, I don't want to have to rebuy it again. And one game in particular is the sequel to Final Fantasy Dissidia 012 Duodecim, or Duodecim. Not sure how to pronounce it, but you can't play it unless you buy it again, and it's on the PlayStation Store. And I really don't feel like buying Final Fantasy again on the PlayStation Store. It's about $40 or $30 on there, and I got it for $20 for the UMD. That's one of the things that's bugging me, and most people will say, well, if you want to play a PlayStation Portable game, play it on your PSP. Yeah, I can do that, but especially from Sony, when you're playing the successor to the PSP, you expect backwards compatibility, or some type of program where maybe you can pay a small amount to get your games transferred to the Vita so you can play them. But sadly, you can't do that unless you've already downloaded the game for your PSP previously. Then you can just re-download it onto the Vita. Sadly, you can't do that yet. Maybe they'll find a way, maybe they'll do it, I'm not sure. I'm hoping they will, but until then I'll probably just have to pony up the dough and buy Final Fantasy again, because I really do still enjoy playing that. And as well as the PSP games, they do look solid. At first they look really fuzzy and kind of ugly, but there are ways to fix that. While you're playing a PSP game, you just hold the screen and an option will pop up. You can change it to look much clearer, and the games really do benefit greatly. The best way to describe it is you watch a standard def TV channel and then you switch over to high def. You notice the difference pretty readily, and the difference for the PSP games is pretty huge, and it does benefit greatly. But that's pretty much the review. Like I said, if I forgot anything, or if you guys want to know more, I can always do a more in-depth video, let you guys know what's going on. But yeah, this is the PlayStation Vita. It's an amazing handheld if you happen to have, you know, $249.99 laying around, or if you want to splurge for the 3G version, which is $300. You can't go wrong with this thing. It's amazing. I hope it does well. If you're a gamer, I suggest you at least go to like your local store and just try it out. A lot of fun. The games are fun. It's not gimmicky. It's a powerful little thing. Very, very powerful. So I'm Curious Corduroy. I will talk to you guys later. And like I said, if I happen to forget anything, I'll let you guys know in a new video. But I'll see you guys later. Hopefully you enjoyed the video.